No doubt about it. Let's talk Celtic and Rangers. For Celtic, Hearts have held talks with Brighton owner Tony Bloom about a deal with his analytics company that could see him take a minority stake. We've seen what Bloom and Brighton have done in terms of the analytics department being really at the forefront of that in the Premier League. Would this be concerning for Celtic and Rangers?
Yes, is the answer. Very clearly, yes. I'd also heard that Tony Bloom had actually spoken to Aberdeen first before Hearts, but he wasn't happy about the stadium situation up in Aberdeen, from what I'd heard. So, look, yes, if Hearts, and then you got Hibs now coming in with the owner at Bournemouth with a stake there as well, and that sort of relationship starting to settle down. There's no doubt Tony Bloom and the team at Brighton know what they're doing. It's been very well documented and they've been praised many times, probably praised too much because all they're doing is doing their job. But yes, it would make a big difference if Hearts got some resources, some proper database behind them, etc., and the way that they handle players, bringing them in and purchasing them, and then the loan issues. All those sort of areas on the football side would be crucial for Hearts. And yes, absolutely. Rangers, especially right now, should be concerned about that. Celtic have got some breathing space and I think can adapt to that sort of challenge. And all of a sudden, if we start to get a really competitive Scottish league with maybe 6 or 7 or 8 teams, possibly with the right support, that would be great for Scotland and give Celtic, Rangers, Hibs and Hearts a very competitive league to start playing in and then hopefully start performing better in Europe. And that's what hopefully for Scottish football would be a big benefit. But certainly it should worry Rangers at the moment about Hearts and Hibs coming in with better resources. Aberdeen doing very well at the moment. And if they were to team up with another club from down south, which I think is going to be the next one off the rank, then I think you're going to start to see a very interesting Scottish Premier League. And it's something where it should have been from many, many years ago. I lobbied for this sort of stuff about 20 years ago, and I'm pleased that it's now coming to fruition.
And with a more competitive Scottish Premier League, doesn't that potentially make the TV rights deal go higher and then it's better for all clubs? Even if there's a little more competition for Rangers or Celtic and make it a little harder to get into Europe, couldn't the more TV money make up for that?
Absolutely, that would be a big help. I don't think we're going to get to Premier League levels, but certainly we're going to be increasing that to certainly something like Championship levels, and that would make up for Europe, but nowhere near. If you have a successful run in Europe, obviously that's the big payday. I've always felt that the SPL, the Scottish Premier League, there's also the SPL in Saudi. Let's not get confused. The Scottish Premier League, living next door to the £64,000 gorilla of the Premier League, should have to have a point of difference. And I've always felt that it should focus more on youth and trying to produce the gems of the future and become an exciting league for that sort of reason. Now, if that's the way this sort of works out with these sort of club involvements from the Brightons and the Bournemouths, etc., then I think that the SPL could be a very interesting showcase for youth from around the world, and that would make it a really a worthy watch, and also have a point of difference from the Premier League, which I think is crucial, and that could go around the world in terms of being a model for youth development. So that's the way I've always wanted it to go, and I'm hopefully seeing the plans and the green shoots of it going that way right now. So it's hopefully some big good news for Scottish football.
Speaking of Celtic's money, their revenue rose to almost £125 million in 2023-2024. Are we likely to see that increase again this coming season?
Yeah, I think we will, because the new Champions League format, Celtic have had a good start to the Champions League against Slovan Bratislava. The team's performing quite well in Europe. Brendan seems happy. They've probably got a very good draw compared to what they thought they would have for this Champions League. So they've got a chance to really kick on. And if they do, there's big money in this new format. So yes, Celtic should have a great season.